County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania, and based upon the recap and the update that we received at our Board of Directors meeting, it became evidently clear that the issues that have been important to counties as it relates to this budget negotiation and things that we have rang an alarm on even in June articles and as late as September related to the rebalancing initiative that is going to be a huge issue for county children and youth agencies moving forward, is a part of the structure of the budget deal. We had much discussion. There was much concern about some level of regulatory change and other restoration of cuts that have occurred to our behavioral health system that is also not a part of this framework. It appears that based upon what we heard and the gloomy outlook as it relates to the effects and direct financial impacts on counties, that we had a very, very lively discussion about seeking or asking our solicitor to take a look at seeking legal remedies against the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for not being able to adequately fund human services moving forward, particularly in light of, and one of the proudest moments I have, and I think you see it from this board, we actually engaged, three of us, on a regular basis to talk about ways that we solve problems. One of the things that county commissioners do well is fix things. We have to make sure that folks receive services. And being creative and figuring out ways to have finance options to continue to support the state government despite their inability from the governor to the legislature to come up with a reasonable budget that will certainly impact those receiving core and essential services here in the county are critically important, from protection of kids to seniors and protection to making sure folks who are struggling from mental illness receive services rather than just become institutionalized. We were made aware, and actually through the Board of Directors, we made the rest of the counties aware that we were interested in doing a motion on the floor to ask our solicitor to seek out legal remedies in order to ensure that we were never placed in this position again. One of the reasons that state government doesn't have the pressure it used to have, and you know under Rendell, there was a finding where you could not require state workers to continue to come to work without paying them. So right now, this budget impasse doesn't impact state workers. They are all being paid and the money's being allocated. The state is also collecting revenues from state income tax, from lottery funds, gas tax, federal payments from county governments. So far from Dauphin County, the amount of revenues that we've sent to the state this year are in the amount of $27,895. Their coffers are full. Projections are well. Yet, human service providers and counties are forced to exercise public finance options at an expense to taxpayers in programs that we are required and mandated to provide. And counties to this point have not been told by the governor or the legislature, unlike the school districts, that those borrowing costs and those costs of being able to keep the doors open will be fully reimbursed to counties across the Commonwealth. Providers are going to be out money, counties are going to be out money. We figured out ways to make it work. Now that makes me proud to be a commissioner, but it also enables the legislature to continue to move and operate in a way that doesn't put additional pressure to be able to see a budget deal done. And right now, it doesn't appear that either the governor or the legislature has very much concern about the impacts that it has to families and kids and to seniors. We're going to be facing very soon the ability to either have to do more financing or to close doors to services, shut senior centers, to figure out ways that we have to reduce employees in our human service staff. Those are real options that we are going to have to face that are going to negatively affect people. And as a board, we've chosen to say we're not going to let politics get in the way of keeping the doors open. We'll do it by any means necessary. But what has happened in this recent budget framework is just unconscionable. So let me read to you, first of all, the motion that's been made by CCAP board president, actually the board of directors president, Jeff Hayes, who's now on WITF Smart Talk, talking about this specific issue. We talked about that the members of our board expressed that I'm sure what the sentiment of everyone in this room is one of profound frustration that this budget stalemate has gone on long enough. The counties have, to the best of their ability, kept critical services available, but that those who provide services on our behalf, and most importantly, those who receive those services, children, seniors, and many of the other most vulnerable in our communities, are suffering from the lack of action here in Harrisburg. The governor and the legislature do not fully understand the scope and the nature of the harm, and they do not seem to share our views of the crisis in services. The clear sentiment of the board of directors and of all of the commissioners that are here present that we've talked to in the last 2 days, that this stalemate and holding our residents hostage must end, that our counties and those vulnerable citizens we represent and our local taxpayers must be made whole, and that this must never happen again. To that end, Commissioner Hayes made a motion authorizing the Association of CCAP's legal counsel to research the potential basis for litigation against the Commonwealth related to the impasse. Specifically, we want to explore requiring the release of Commonwealth and federal funds for our essential services, which the state is now holding, in the same manner that the state has used the funds collected over the last 5 months for its own services. And second, failing that, this motion also authorizes Association counsel to investigate the legal ramifications to counties and county officials of ceasing to remit funds collected on the state's behalf at the county level during an impasse and allowing those funds to be used to fund local essential services. So we're going to be placing a call out to our row officers and asking for the funds that are in fact collected to be placed in a separate concentration account and held until this impasse is complete.